Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to Grit and Grace TV. Before we get too far into this, I see Lynn over there still wiping the tears out of her eyes. Yeah, we had a nice little pre-show that I thought it was a lot of fun. I mean, I guess not everybody gets into foreplay before the pre-show, but anyways, we had a great pre-show, and hopefully we can carry that energy over to the actual show. So thank you for tuning in to Grit and Grace TV. I am one of your hosts, CJ, and this is my other awesome host, and I pointed the wrong direction. I got to point that way. This is Lynn Burnett from the beautiful country of Canada.
Where it's freezing freaking cold right now, and it's pissing me off.
You've been bitching about the weather today. That I thought that was kind of funny that you would complain about the weather. I mean, you are like way the rest of us. What? Oh man, it says that we
sound.
Have no sound.
Are you kidding me? No, that was like a great intro.
What is going on here? Be Live TV. Where is our sound?
Huh. Maybe it's just you, Angela. We need somebody.
Hey, Angela, maybe you want to check your tab and see if you need to unmute it or turn up the volume just a little bit.
But if she can't hear you, she's not going to know.
You know, she doesn't have a clue what I'm saying over here.
This won't work out well for the podcast.
No, it's not going to work out very well for the podcast. Jeez, this is going to really... Let me just go on over here to Facebook.
And comment.
I'm just going to go check it out. I'm going to have to...
she rebooted.
Oh, hey.
Okay.
Reboot.
So do you have sound?
No. Testing.
Oh, yay!
Angela's got sound, so we are all good. So,
and you missed the great intro. Only you and I were enjoying it again.
Apparently, I'm sure it's going to be on the recording. So, just rewind a little bit after the show. But anyways, like I was saying, I am CJ. This is Lynn, and tonight we are going to be talking about something that, well, I hope you put the kids to bed. Let's just put it that way. Let's just say, let's hope you put the kids to bed. Maybe even set the mood. Maybe even light a few candles. Dim the lights a little bit. Maybe put on some soft background music. Just something to kind of help the show along a little bit. Because trust me,
chicka boom boom.
hey, we're in 2017, not 1970. That music was totally synonymous with the mustache. The one I'm talking about. The one.
Yeah, what's his name? Really hairy.
Tom Selleck.
No, what? Oh, what was his name? Jeremy.
Oh, Ron Jeremy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had the whole porn stash going on. Everybody loved
really hairy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And like 300 pounds-ish, somewhere in there. Anyway. So yeah, we're going to be talking about spicing it up in the bedroom. But before we get into all of the good stuff, what's been going on over in your world, Lynn?
It's fucking cold. That's what's going on in my world, and it's pissing me off. And I've had enough. I need to move. Mexico, I think. I hear Portugal's really good. Like the cost of living's low, and there's beaches and there's sun. So, like, I could be like moving to Portugal. I could be doing this from Portugal.
Well, hey, here in South Dakota, we've got mountains, beaches, sun. I mean, it was a beautiful 89 degrees today. I cannot about 89 degrees. Now, when it starts getting the 90s and stuff like that, then you'll hear me starting bitching about it's too hot. And then when it gets down in the 60s, I'll be like, oh, it's too cold. I can't ride my motorcycle. But, right now, 89 degrees, I still can't ride my motorcycle because I broke that bitch. But, hey, that's what happens when you ride them hard and put them away wet. It's just the way things go sometimes.
That's the way it is.
But
you broke her.
I broke her. Yeah.
You're too powerful.
had way too much expectations for that girl. But are we going to even get into the show today? Holy smokes!
I'm just in a mood. It was our pre-show prep there that's just gotten me in a mood.
Well,
I cry when I laugh. So
that's what happens when a guy mentions the word foreplay, because most women know most men don't know what the hell foreplay even is. So
that's
when
right.
a guy actually mentions the word, I can see how that it would bring out that kind of reaction from a woman.
So it's going to be a great show. So if you could hit share right now, because we want other people to get in on the conversation, and because we think this is an important conversation. Because people want to talk about this, and we know it from you and I both having different conversations with other people. People want to talk about it. They just don't know how to get it going. And we've gotten a lot of feedback from people this month on how much they're getting from the show and what it's doing. And it is getting people talking. People are talking about things that they wouldn't normally talk about. So hit share, please share this out and get in the conversation and share with us. CJ did some polling today. He's our poll master.
Angela, help me out here. I don't even know what to say to that. I did go out and I asked some people one question. It was just one question, and I sent that question out, and then I also came back and I sent it out to private messages just to see how many people would respond to it. And I'll be honest with you, I was extremely blown away by how many people actually answered and responded the way they did. Some of the answers I got, I never would have imagined. Never in a million years would I have thought I would have got those answers. So I was pretty excited about this one, and it's just it makes me want to be poll master more in the future. Let's just put it that way. But now that
I think it's important, because I think like we were talking about before the show, life happens, and we've got kids, and especially if you have kids and they're busy. Like,
thank you, thank you.
And you get the autographed poster of CJ in his favorite suit. I think it's very easy for this important connective part of a relationship to go by the wayside. We're too busy. There's other things that are happening. And so there's things that you can do. There's things that you can do. And I'm really can't wait to hear the answers that you got, because that definitely helps other people. So that's definitely the benefit of people responding, speaking out, and asking. So I'm dying to hear.
Well, let's start there, because that's kind of what everything that we're going to talk about in the show kind of stems from this. I mean, these are the problems that people have that kill the sex life in the bedroom. I mean, these things are what everybody is experiencing. It's not just the 100 people that I talk to. It is literally everybody across the board. Everybody experiences one or more of these things on a day-to-day basis. So why don't we start with those?
Absolutely, yeah. And I think it's important just to say that I think no matter what, I think there's going to be times in a relationship where it is going to get a little tired and automatic. I think it's when it stays there forever, that's the danger point.
Well, and it's funny because that was the highest number of people. 30% of the people I talked to said that the reason why the sex dies out in the bedroom is because it becomes boring, routine, expected. Those are the words that were coming out of people's mouths. And for the most part, that is true. I mean, most people kind of get into that rhythm. I mean, I've heard of people even setting up certain days, like Wednesdays we have sex. Fridays we have sex, or Sundays are our sex day, whatever it is. They set a certain day, and that day it's like every week, right on the money. That's what they're doing, and it becomes that routine, and every time they do, even if it's not routine like that, they're saying that it's boring. We do it the same way all the time. This is how we start. This is this is the position we're in. This is how we finish. And then when we're done with that, we go have a drink or a smoke or whatever it is. Then we come in and he's sleeping already and whatever. That's 30% of the people I talked to said that was the reason why their sex life stopped. And it didn't just slow down. It just literally stopped.
That's sad.
Now, 20%, now there's two of them that this next two highest are both at 20%. And one of them was stress, stress from your daily job, daily living, whatever it is outside of the house. This was all stressors from outside of the home. So a big one was stress from your job, whether or not you're making your quotas, or if you're not getting the things done at work that you need to get done. That was the biggest number of this 20%. But for the most part, stress outside of the home was number two.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the funniest thing is that sex would help that. It's funny, the things that we always need are the things that we don't do, and things get affected. When you get down or depressed or blue, what you need is to be around some other people, but we don't. We pull back. Sex is a great solution to a lot of these things, but instead it's killing it.
Yeah, and I'll admit, I've been victim to this myself, where things seem to be piling up. I know I've got certain things that I got to have done, certain bills paid or whatever it is. It's like, I know I got to get this done, and things just, sex and intimacy is like the last thing on your mind when you're so concentrated on making sure this, that, or the other gets done. And I know there's a lot of women that deal with that as well, because most women, they're the ones that will stay up late at night thinking about the things that they have to have done the next day or or this week or whatever. And it's really hard for a lot of women to sleep when they have such a busy mind thinking of those things. And the last thing they happen to be thinking about most of the time is, maybe I should have sex with my husband.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think for some women too, especially if their children are small, they're pawed at all the time. And if they're breastfeeding, and then it's just like, really? Do I need someone else groping at my body? I know that's, for some women, that's like my space. I need my space. So I want to hear.
That was actually number 3. The third highest one at 10% was children and not making time for each other. And that came from everybody who answered that question with children were all women. Not a single guy said, yeah, kids get in the way. No, most guys, they don't care. They're like, well, just go find a place to hide. That's never a problem. But for, all of them were women, and all of them use that as one of those things. You just get so beat down. You're raising the kids. You don't really, think about, well, I need to make time for my spouse, or I just don't want to deal with anything from my spouse because I've spent all my time with one kid. I don't need to worry about another one. So that was one of them I got today. I thought that was kind of interesting, how her husband was just one of her kids. And I guess sometimes, yeah. The other 20% one we skipped over was the not trusting and not trusting each other anymore. Or that one kind of took me by surprise. The not being able to trust each other, being hurt in the past by somebody, and the unforgiveness that goes along with that. That one there, I didn't think it was going to be as high as it was, and that came from both men and women. It wasn't just one-sided. and it was very even between the men and women who said that. So it wasn't something that there's like 10 women to 4 guys. It was dead even. So that one, that one really caught me by surprise.
Yeah, that would for me on when it comes to men. Like I could see it being a big issue with women trust in sex. But with men, that's very interesting. Definitely. That's very interesting.
Now, bouncing down to the fourth one, which is also 10%, was weight and body image. That one I thought was going to be higher, to be honest with you. Because one of the first people I talked to said weight and body, or talked about body image. So as soon as I heard that, I thought, wow, that's going to be, if not number 1, number 2. And I was surprised it was as far as it was down as it was. But really, I mean, if you think about it, you know, a woman who puts on a lot of weight with pregnancy, one of the first things she talks about is she doesn't feel sexy. She doesn't feel like she's wanted anymore. And guys are just as insecure about things when it comes to their body. If a guy puts on an extra 20, 30 pounds, now he's not necessarily feeling like, hey, he's that Fabio, he's that cover, that romance cover guy anymore for you. So,
Fabio.
Yeah, he's not that Fabio anymore. So he might not want to participate.
The Greek god. He's the Buddha god, not the Greek god.
You know, and then a lot of, even sometimes, things get said out of anger when two people have an argument. And, certain things get said, and maybe she says something about his anatomy, and that throws little hiccups in his mind. And you'd be surprised on how insecure guys can be when it comes to that part of, I mean, come on. Every guy wants to think they got a big dick. That's just not the case. But that's what every guy wants to believe. And when a woman can crush his mental image of what he has downstairs, it's all over but the crying right then. I mean, it's just not going to happen. I mean, from that point forward, you're faced with the realization that you're just adequate.
Yeah, well, that's like last week's show we were talking about and that article that I shared. Remember?
Yeah, I mean, we all have.
Yeah, everybody's going to be self-conscious.
Exactly.
But I'm very surprised that wasn't higher on the list about body image and people feeling self-conscious about their bodies. I'm surprised that wasn't higher as to why sex slows down or stops. That's like super interesting. I would have thought that and kids, because moms are tired, or the kids are always around, or you can't find quiet time, or that's very surprising.
And then the last 2 that are on the list were both at 5%. They're the only, and there were a few others that were just kind of like one-offs, but these 2 were the ones that kind of had multiple people talking about them. And one of them being health problems. Women develop certain health problems where sex becomes painful and just not enjoyable. So that came up a couple of times. And then guys with, erectile dysfunction or some other problems that, their junk just don't work no more. Yeah, so things like that. And so health problems coming in at 5%. And then the other one coming in at 5% was just not communicating what you want. And I thought that one was going to be higher as well. Just, I don't know how many times that, you go into the bedroom, you lay down, you go to sleep, you want to have sex. I mean, you're all primed and ready. Your spouse is primed and ready. They're willing to have sex too. You both want it, but you're just not communicating. You just don't talk to each other, or you don't give each other the signs, or you just don't try. So, part of that is, that fear or maybe, or whatever it is, but just the lack of communication, that came in at 5%. And then some of those little one-offs things are just...
Like what? What are the one-offs?
Well, some of the one-offs, and let me see if I wrote some of them down. Guess I didn't really write them down. Changes in relationships. And what she meant by changes in relationships is like she was wanting to do more things outside of the home. He became more of a homebody. So, because of the way their relationship had changed, how they grew kind of apart from each other, that kind of stuff. And that's those are kind of the things that I was hearing. Expect being another one-off. Not, if you set your expectations for sex one way, and you're not received the way that you expect it to be received, then that can kind of lead to disappointment and all that kind of stuff. So those are kind of the one-off type of things that I was hearing. But for the most part, boring and routine, that's the winner. And that's really kind of what we're talking about tonight, is how can we spice things up and not let them become boring and routine.
Yeah. And I think that like a lot of things in life, anytime people think about changing or doing something different, they have this idea that it has to be this major drastic thing. And you don't have to start going out buying like equipment to screw to your ceiling and swings and shit. Like, it doesn't have to be that drastic. Like you talked about, for some people it's like the same day or 2 days a week. Okay. Well, if that's the way it works for whatever reason, maybe, little Jimmy's got something that he does, so you got 2 hours free. Okay, so it's the same day, but what do you do within that time? It doesn't have to be a huge drastic. It's not like you got to go out and buy costumes. It could be the littlest thing. I know for a lot, I've heard from a lot of women, and in reading articles, big thing is, in the dark, like turn off the lights so you don't see me undress and get into bed. Maybe have the lights on that time. Like, do that one thing. I mean, that could be enough to get things. I mean, I'm sure for you, there could be just one little thing that you'd be like, whoa.
Oh, yeah. Here's the thing, and this goes back to that body image part. Most women, and I'm not, like I said, I was extremely surprised that this wasn't number one, because most women want to have the lights off because of that body image, what they think of their bodies and things like that. However, it doesn't matter. I mean, when a man is sitting there looking at you and you're all in your glory and he's all in his, trust me, you're going to know whether or not what he sees is what he likes. It's inevitable. But for the most part, it doesn't. Guys, when we look at a woman, it's not about, they've got to have this magazine body. And you know what the one I'm talking about? The ones that we see airbrushed in every single women's magazine. They've got these perfect bodies, what they consider perfect bodies. That's not what turns guys on. Just the fact that a woman is standing there naked and they want them. That's really all it takes.
Yes.
That's it. So it doesn't matter if you have curves. It doesn't matter if you're a big woman, a small woman, or whatever. If you're naked and you want him, that is all that's on his mind at that moment. He's wanting you. He's ready.
I am so glad you said that, because right from the horse's mouth.
Right.
Like, I mean, that is true. And I remember at times where, feeling self-conscious. I think for anybody that's going to be a factor, because every woman just about has something that they don't like, or, they're concerned about, or they think is ugly. He knows. He knows. If you've had kids and you got a little pooch, he knows you have the pooch. You get undressed in the dark. He knows you have it. He has seen you somehow. You didn't know. He has touched you. He's with you. He's with you there. You're together. You're in the relationship. He's choosing you. Yeah, a man doesn't isolate a portion out of your body. It's the whole thing. And yeah, some people, maybe those ones in the magazines, they've got the abs, they've got whatever, and yeah, it's great to look at. But they're there with you. So try that different thing. If you can't go full on lights, then light a bunch of candles. Try that.
Candles are amazing.
Everything looks great by candlelight.
It does, because you have different shadows shining in different ways, and the way the shadows move with the flickering of lights. And yeah, definitely. When you have that nice, soft yellow glow in the flickering lights, man, it's like Greek goddess right there. Boom. Done. Yeah. Done deal. For me, it's a done deal. Every time.
Yeah. So little things. So, this is something too that I think is great that I've done to spice things up. It doesn't have to be huge. Your man comes home from work. You're doing dinner. He jumps in the shower. Turn the friggin' stove down and jump in the shower for 5 minutes. Lather him up. Give him a nice smooch. Jump out, dry off, and go continue on with dinner. Like that could be just that one thing that it's just something different.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I want to address this real quick, because as I was going through some research tonight, every single website that I looked at, it said something about having sex in the shower. No. Don't do it. You will drown yourself. It's better just to get clean together and then get out and do what you got to do. Don't have sex in the shower. I don't care who. I don't know where that ever came from, to be honest with you. It is,
the porn industry.
It's got
porn.
Well, yeah. Okay. So porn. You mean,
did you almost drown? Are you saying this from personal experience? You've almost drowned.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, come on. Bathtubs, hot tubs, showers. No.
Yeah, no, it's not good. No.
It's not fun. It really isn't fun, because it's kind of awkward and things just don't work out right.
Yeah.
And then, you got everything else to deal with at the end. But, just...
But the lathering up is good, and it's just a nice close time.
But exactly what you were just talking about, lathering each other up. Spend time. One of the most erotic things that I know that I've done was wash my wife's hair. That, to me, it turned me on, it turned her on, and it was such a bonding experience that we shared together that we couldn't help but just be completely into each other when we got out.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Not to mention you have all these different erogenous zones starting at the top of your head. When you just start hitting each one of the chakras, starting from the top of the head, moving on down. I bet you didn't even know.
Whoa! Whoa!
So, oh yeah, we're gonna get deep here.
Oh my God! You amaze me.
But oh, we just kind of did this whole blink on and off thing. I hope we're still on Facebook. That was crazy.
You blew B Live's mind.
I know. What the hell? Oh, now I got to go over and check Facebook to make sure.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny.
But you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, totally. And that's the thing too. I think it's those little things. It doesn't have to be direct sex. It's what are just those intimate moments that you can grab and like that can lead to that. And maybe they don't. Maybe they're just those little moments. But the thought of that will linger. It will add a layer, an element of intimacy that you can build on, that can be brought forth when you do have sex, right? Are we still running on?
Yep, it looks like everything is running still.
Okay.
So yeah, it's don't know what.
I love that. That was it was just too much for everything. I love that example.
Well, I mean, and think about this, guys, and this is mainly for you guys. How many times have you been laying in bed and your wife has said, "Play with my hair"? It's it's something that's relaxing to her, and something that she can just lay back and just feel completely at ease. That is, that's just the beginning. I mean, there's so many different ways you can go from there. If she's telling you to play with her hair, good chance is that she wants you to continue playing a whole lot of other areas. So the cues, those subtle cues, that's one of the tips that I want to talk about, are those little subtle cues. And Lynn, you froze up on the video again.
Not on my end.
Oh, well, did I freeze on your end? Am I?
No.
Okay, because watching Facebook also, you got this really weird kind of growly look. But
thank God for podcast versions.
Right. So like I was saying, guys, pay attention to subtle cues. Women are not the types, and I'm not talking about all women. I'm saying a lot of times women are not the type of people who are going to tell you, "Hey, let's go to the bedroom, let's have sex." It's not going to happen like that. So you got to start paying attention to those subtle cues, like playing with my hair, or, can you rub my back, and then can you rub this lower, and then to the part where you're almost rubbing right above her butt. Got to be really in tune with what she's saying. And I know sometimes you're going to feel so tired. Just going to feel tired. You just don't want to do it. It's like, oh, okay, you're just kind of phoning it in, running your fingers through her hair. Yeah, I know. I've been there. I've done that.
Oh my God, that's funny.
It's true though. I mean, tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're totally. or if we go and sit on your lap.
Right.
Go sit on your lap.
There's two. Oh, hold on. There's two different ways that a woman will come sit on your lap. She'll come sit on your lap where it's like, she just like plops herself in your lap, and it's just like, and you know that she's just messing with you. She's just sitting in your lap. But then there's that way that she sits in your lap where she just positions herself perfectly. And all she's got to do is just move just slightly. And there's a reaction. When you get that sit on lap thing, when you get that one, you better be paying attention, because they're definitely telling you something.
Yeah. Or touch in a certain way that she doesn't normally touch you. Rub the inside of your arm. If she's beside you, rub the inside of your arm or the inside of your leg.
Or the back of your neck. A lot of times you get that behind the neck thing.
Yeah, run your hand up. Yeah, exactly.
Guys, gotta pay attention. Gotta pay attention. It's only I've been married. This will be 18 years, and I'm just now starting to catch on to these subtle hints. I should be kicked. I really should, but whatever.
Or sometimes she will just say, "Come on," and grab your hand.
Well, yeah, that'll happen sometimes. But what's your favorite thing what's your favorite thing though when you're just laying in bed by yourself? Are you the type of person? Well, maybe I don't want to put you on the spot like this.
By myself? I'm laying in bed by myself.
Do you like listen? into romance novels, or do you like watching romantic movies?
I used to read those a long time ago. Like in my 20s, I would read those novels. Now, no, I haven't for years. It's probably been 20 years since I've read a book like that. I like watching the movies. Like, like The Notebook was a great movie, or yeah, I like watching movies like that. Romance. Yeah, I haven't read those in years, and some of them were okay, but your early 20s, a lot of it's still kind of new, right? Like that's all kind of still new in your early 20s, right? So you read that and you're like, whoa. But no,
when I first got married, my wife used to read a lot of those romance novels, and I'll be honest with you, I thought at that time it set some expectations that just weren't really fair.
And then we came out with the whole 50 Shades of Grey, which I didn't read.
Well, you don't have to read that one to understand what that's about. But, one of the things that, so those old romance novels, the Nora Roberts and all that kind of stuff, they set bad expectations for young women.
Who are you?
Hold on.
Who are you? How do you know that? Are you an alien? What fucking planet did you come from? You're the most. Your wife better not ever let you go. That's all I have to say.
Well, I have been married for almost going on 18 years, so.
She's smart then. She has it because, oh my God. Carry on, sorry.
So I've actually paid attention a whole lot more than he probably knows I have. However, so those romance novels kind of, painted a really bad picture, because it set these expectations so high, and guys, we can't live up to those expectations. However, the novels that are coming out now, as it seems like as women get older and get more confident and comfortable with what they want and who they are and everything like that, thank God.
That's just because you're older now. So the women are your age now.
Right. Well, but now I can sit there and I can lay in bed, and usually what happens if I'm laying in bed, I'm watching something on YouTube. Chances are it's some lame ass documentary just to put me to sleep. However, every now and then my wife will be listening to her version of porn, like 50 Shades of Grey or one of the other really racy novels, and I will turn down the audio on my headphones so I can kind of pay attention to what she's listening to. And I'll be honest with you, there's been a few times where that alone has led to the next thing. So guys, listen to what your wife is listening to, because trust me, it's well worth it.
Yeah. I think it is. I think it's used for a different purpose now. So back in like the 20s, right? It's all new and it's exciting. And yeah, you're right. It does sort of set men up this unrealistic expectation. Now I think like women our age, now it's more like you
can't even say it like that, though.
Like a foreplay type thing.
But you can't really even say women our age anymore, because women that are in their 20s and 30s, or even their late teens, are going to watch these movies, the 50 Shades of Grey, the the Magic Mikes, the things are,
Oh, I love Magic Mike.
Well, it seems like soft porn, and I'll use it like that. Soft porn has become more acceptable in society starting at a younger age now than I think it was before. So I think younger people are more exposed to those things. However, because of that, it leads into the hardcore stuff, which is destroying a lot of romance in the bedroom.
I think for some people it does, and for some people it doesn't. And, if used right, I'm all for it. If that is the only thing you're going by and it's like all the time and you're watching it all the time and you have the expectations for that and you try and live up to that and you're trying to do you're breaking your neck trying to do those weird ass things on the couch and the awkward positions. Yeah, it's not going to work. But I think used in the right way, definitely. See, now me, when I was a teen, you didn't see stuff like that on TV. I mean, they didn't allow certain things. They didn't like, I remember Three's Company was really big, that show Three's Company. And to have them all living together, a guy and two girls, even that was like, whoa.
Yeah, exactly.
So then, but then Prince entered my life, and that was sort of Prince was my mentor when I was in my teens. Prince was like, woo! I was like, it was like he made it, sex was great and he made it okay. And it was like, that spoke to me. And so that was sort of what I followed as I grew up. And so we were talking about this last time. So I've never, if I want it, I ask for it. I will be like, hey, like, come on. And I will initiate and I will ask for what I want and I will, because it was just, to me, that's just the way it was. And because I listened to Prince. He totally influenced my sex life. He was my mentor there. So
I wrote down,
it was okay.
I wrote down some common sex tips that I found online. And I'm just going to throw them out to you, and I want to kind of get your take on them, okay?
Okay.
So tip number 1 was set the mood. Dim the lights with candles, music, maybe some toys and lotions.
If you got time.
Time seems to be the biggest thing for that. I mean, that's kind of one of those, hey, we're alone. Maybe it's before you have kids, or maybe it's after the kids have left the house, or maybe it's like they're gone for the day doing whatever they're doing with their friends. But I thought that was kind of a cool one. I've always liked that whole. I know.
Keep a treasure chest of your stuff beside your bed,
or lockbox. Yeah.
And have keep like a lighter handy so you can light the candles in your room. Keep the candles in your room. Bada bing, bada boom. You're ready to go.
Okay, so the next one was get hands-on, touching each other, rubbing each other, and even giving your spouse a hand where it counts. That's the way they wrote it. I can only imagine that giving your partner a hand where it counts either means giving them a hand job or giving her, just flicking the dick for her. So, I've never been big on that, to be honest with you.
A hand job?
Yeah. Just never been really big on that. It's like, okay, yeah, you're doing that. Great. Okay, now I've got to direct you on how to do that. Here, just let me do it myself, and I'll show you.
Hand me that lotion.
Yeah, it's just, somebody else, the wife doing it, it's just, that's, okay, just.
Yeah. Well, again, that's a personal preference thing, right? For some people, that could be a big thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, next.
Go slow, don't rush it. Make the foreplay last all day.
All day?
Yeah, I like that one. Wake up.
All day?
Oh, all day. Absolutely. Think about
it.
I'm
an impatient person.
But you think about this, though. You wake up
on my knees crying.
think about this just for a second.
Okay.
You wake up in the morning, together. You're having a cup of coffee. You flirt with each other a little bit, and you kind of set the stage.
Okay, that. Wait. Okay.
Okay. And then throughout the day, you're at work, she's at home, or she's at work, you're at work, and you just send each other little flirty messages that progressively get a little bit raunchier as the day goes on.
Yeah, I would do that.
Then you get home, you see each other, and then you start getting a little handsy. You know, you just kind of build that tension and everything throughout the day. So yeah, go slow and let the foreplay last all day.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because it starts in the mind. Absolutely.
For sure. For sure.
It starts in the mind and words and yep.
Number 4 is open up and say, ah. just like number 2 was get hands on,
Yeah.
It was, instead of going the hands route, we're going the oral route,
Yeah.
And I think so many people think that sex is just intercourse,
A lot. I would say a huge amount. Yeah, that it's all about that. That's the main attraction. And it's so not. It's so not.
Yeah, there's so many different things that a person can do and enjoy each other and have pleasure with each other without having intercourse. It's not always that. It's not necessary all the time.
No, because it's the connection that's made. It's the connecting that's happening. It's what's going on between the two of you without saying anything. And it's so much deeper. It's so much deeper than that. Absolutely. But I think, that becomes part of the routine. You get off. Well, we both got off. We're done. We're good. And it's really not. It could be a night where only one of you, and it's just one person that's getting the attention. And, that's something different to try too.
And then number 5, to close it all out, just like number 1 was to, hey, be romantic, take it slow, do your whole thing. Number 5 is just get it on.
Just get it on.
Do what you got to do, just whether, just as spontaneous as it needs to be. Just come together, get it on, and, make it excitement. Maybe you push her up against the wall, or maybe you push him up against the wall, whichever it happens to be. Yeah, I mean, women, you can be the aggressors. It's not unheard of anymore. I think, with the way people were raised that, the men have to be the aggressors, or the men have to, start everything. Girls, we know you want it just as bad as we do. Go get it.
Go get it.
Make it. Just get it on.
And you're right. And an article that I was reading about 3 things that, men wanted more. One was to be the instigator more, and having more confidence in themselves. And that was one of the things, was instigate more. And I think that's where, like you were talking earlier about, you're both there, you're both kind of like hot and bothered, but there's no communication, and then nothing happens. And I think because a lot of the times, you're right. Your society teaches that, the women are there looking pretty, and it's the man's job to come and take. And it doesn't always have to be that way. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think there's the one thing you can try. It doesn't have to be this grand gesture. It doesn't have to be a pole in your bedroom or, bondage or anything like that. It's just do one thing out of the ordinary, whether it's you maybe talk dirty if you don't talk dirty. Maybe it's you're a little more vocal. Maybe you're dressed in something. Maybe you're not a lingerie wearer. Get a piece of lingerie. Maybe it's something, just one little thing. And that, I think the effects of that could be felt for a long time.
And talk to each other, figure out what your fantasies are. Talk to each other about different fantasies and things like that go through each other's minds. Because women have fantasies, men have fantasies. You don't have to, there's always a way to kind of compromise and live out those fantasies with each other. You don't have to go outside of, your relationship to be each other's fantasy. And talk about them. Because if you can talk about them, a lot of times you can take those fantasies and bring them together, and you'll find out that you're probably sharing a lot of the same things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's just so many different things. And hey, Bobby, there's the owner of Mile High Radio.
Right on, right on.
So, yeah, I mean, just so many different things you can try and talk about it, because maybe you think, well, I don't know what to do different. This is what I know. Talk to your partner. Maybe your partner has some ideas. Maybe there's something they've thought about, or they'd like you to, they would like, or they'd like to try with you. It could be, the littlest thing. So start the conversation. We have started the conversation. I think we've been pretty open about all of this, and just take it from here and do it. I challenge everybody that's watching, do one little thing. And we both would love this if, let us know. We challenge you. We are challenging you to do one little thing, and we want to hear about it. If you want to share in a message on our Facebook page, you can message us. Or if you're a little shy and you don't want to, go to our website and click on the Ask a Question tab and just say in it that, because it'll be anonymous, just say, I tried one thing different, and I'd love to share it, because maybe it's something someone else might not have thought about, or we want to cheer you on. We want to be like, yeah, and what has it done for your relationship? So we'd love to hear if you try one thing. We challenge you. We challenge you. Take the dare.
And I'll tell you this. The people who speak up are heroes to the people who are afraid to speak up. Because I guarantee you, if you have a question or if you have a comment, you are either answering someone else's question or you are asking the question for them.
Yes.
Everybody shares those same questions or has questions that maybe you're just going to share the answer to. Be that hero. Just engage. The more engagement we get, the more we're able to kind of feed off of that. And it energizes us. I know I get extremely excited when I see a new review. I know I get, so excited. In fact, that first thing I do is I message Lynn. Hey, Lynn, did you see that one? And she does the same thing. She gets just as excited. She's like, hey, did you see we got a new review? So get on over there. Give us a review.
Or a comment.
Yeah. A comment even. So we love doing this. We do this for you because we love having people who just want to sit and listen to us blabber on about whatever. So,
well, we do it for us too, because we love it.
Yeah, we do. I absolutely love getting on this thing and talking to Lynn and sharing with all of you.
And I'm so glad you're feeling better. You had a crappy weekend. Your bike busted. You were sick all week. So I'm glad we got like the full on CJ tonight. So glad you're feeling.
Yes. Yeah, I broke my bike. If you didn't listen to the first part of the show, you'll know that I had an extremely bad weekend. Supposed to be out with my boys all weekend long, riding my motorcycle, getting some wind therapy. And Friday night, I'm on my way home, and boom, transmission's out. Out. Completely.
Shit.
Yeah.
And then you got sick.
Yeah, and then I get sick on top of it. CJ's back. The bike being broken isn't the worst thing that could happen. Being sick ain't the worst thing that can happen. But I tell you what, this would be the worst thing that could happen. The worst thing that could happen right now is that you didn't enjoy the show. That would crush me. So I hope each and every one of you enjoyed the show. I hope each and every one of you comes out each Thursday night, 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific. And Lynn, I know we've got some extremely exciting news to share with everybody.
Yes.
On this exciting news.
Yes. Well, I made a post about all the places because now we've been accepted to Apple Podcast, which was iTunes. We are on Stitcher Radio. We are on Google Play. We of course have our YouTube channel, but now, drum roll. milehighradio.com, which is an online radio station that runs 24/7, is going to be airing our show on Mondays at 8:30 p.m. I think that's the time I told you, right?
That's what
Mondays at 8:30 Pacific, 11:30 Eastern Standard Time every Monday. So this show is going to be broadcast Monday. But you can find them on Facebook. Go show them some love because they're going to show us some love. And they've got great music. They got the Grateful Dead Hour that runs and Bowie, and it's a station that plays great music that runs 24/7. They've got some great talk shows, some great sports programming. And you can find them on Facebook. Just search for milehighradio.com. So facebook.com/milehighradio. And you will find them, like the page, check out the website, and show them some love because they're going to be broadcasting us live every Monday. So if you can't catch this or you want to listen again or whatever, go check us out there. So that is huge that we are going to be there.
I don't know what to say. I mean, other than thank you. Thank you to Mile High Radio for taking a chance on this show. Man, this is going to be absolutely amazing. I guess we better start getting our shit together, and hopefully we can help them as much as they're going to help us. So
absolutely. So I don't know if Bobby Guarente is still watching, but he's the owner of Mile High Radio. Also, I-95 Sports Network. They live stream sporting events on the East Coast, New York, New Jersey, and growing. And they have some great sports programming. So, yeah, show them some love. I'll put the link on our Facebook page, and you can go and like them. They got great music. I like listening to the Grateful Dead Hour. I'm a Deadhead, so I love listening to that. So, yeah. So, yay! That is so exciting. So thank you to them.
So to all of you watching, Angela, let me see who else. Ricky Prime was in the house. Bobby, thank you for watching. Alana, thank you for showing up. Evelyn, yes, awesome.
Evelyn just had a new grandchild. Congrats.
Congratulations to you, Evelyn. And you will see us next week. And you know what's coming up. You don't have to be perfect to be that perfect solution.
That's right. Stay wild, people.
Ooh, yeah.